Prime Minister Johnson maintains he believed it to be an official work event, not a party.
Now an email leak showing 100 people were invited to socially distanced drinks in Downing Street and to even bring their own booze.
The idea that you walked into the garden, there's 40 people there, the tables are laid out with food and drink and there's alcohol being served in the middle of a lockdown and you think that's a work event, that is just ludicrous, isn't it? You are just taking the mickey out of the British people by suggesting that.
Nobody told me, and nobody said that this was something that was against the rules, that was a breach of the COVID rules, or we were doing something that wasn't a work event.
Yeah, nobody told me. I didn't know it was a party. How do you know what a party is unless somebody says it's a party?
How could you not know that that was a party? I mean, it's not a work event. They said bring your own booze. That never happens for a regular work meeting. No one's ever like, we really need to figure out our fourth quarter projections, so grab some tequila, because Daddy's making margaritas. And also, am I the only person who finds it weird that the leader of the government is the one saying, nobody told me that this was against the rules. Nobody told me. Nobody told you. They're your rules. Your rules to deal with a global pandemic. This isn't your kids' birthdays. You got to remember this shit. Now, Boris's own former top aide says that he did warn Boris that the party broke COVID rules and that Boris has been lying under oath to Parliament about it. But maybe these parties are just emblematic of how Boris thinks COVID rules didn't apply to him. Like apparently, back when Boris had COVID, he refused to stay in isolation and it got so bad that his staff, and this is completely true, had to put chairs in the doorway to his office to block him from leaving. Yeah. Honestly, I was shocked when I read this. Mostly because I didn't know it was that easy to stop British people from going places. Turns out if Africa just put a couple of chairs in front of England, we could have stopped colonialism. So as of now, Boris is in big trouble, or as they say in England, trouble. And really, if you're a prime minister who's been breaking the lockdown rules that you imposed on everybody else, you have to resign. Or you can do this.
New this morning, the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced the end of all pandemic restrictions in the United Kingdom, saying that people will no longer be asked to work from home, masks no longer required in schools, the mandate to wear masks in public removed as well.
According to The Guardian, the swift change is seen as an attempt by Johnson to quell conservative anger over his lockdown breaching parties at Downing Street.
And having looked at the data carefully, the Cabinet concluded that once regulations lapse, the government will no longer mandate the wearing of face masks anywhere.
Oh, shit! Boris went from BYOB to DGAF. You can't break the rules if there are no rules.
That's right, everybody, no masks, everybody, no restrictions, and no more haircuts, bitches.
And yeah, you could argue that suddenly lifting restrictions is just a cheap and dangerous attempt to curry public favor at the cost of spreading a lethal virus. But on the other hand, restrictions are lifted, baby. So break out the liquor, Britain. It's time for a work event.